What's up, Kanyo kids? Last time I did a video of my experience traveling from Manila to Toronto. Now we're doing the reverse. This video is about traveling from Toronto to Manila, and we're gonna start again with the prerequisites. Number 1, who are allowed to travel to the Philippines? Certain countries are currently banned from the Philippines because of the pandemic. Tourists right now are not being accepted by the government. The only people who are allowed to come to the Philippines are citizens, residents, dual citizens, and for non-Filipinos, those would be immediate family of citizens, and also diplomats or guests coming from accredited government or international organizations. So I guess it's also a given that whatever your status is, you'll need to provide proof or documentation for it, right? So if you're a dual citizen, you need to provide your papers. As a non-Filipino, you need an exemption letter from the DFA or the Department of Foreign Affairs. Apart from that, you also need to book a hotel. So the quarantine stay here is either 7 days or 10 days. But either way, you need to complete all 14 days. So if you're staying at a hotel for 7 days, you need to do 7 more days at home. If you're doing 10 days at a hotel, then you need 4 more days at home. The difference is based on whether or not you're fully vaccinated and whether or not you're coming from a country in the list of green countries, right? You can learn more about this in the Philippine Airlines website. They have a list of all the different countries that are considered as a green country. Unfortunately, US and Canada are not part of that list. So I actually have to stay here for 10 days or 9 nights. Hotel bookings are free for OFWs. You can book directly with a hotel. It's actually better that way. But I think they also recognize bookings from third-party applications like, let's say, Agoda. But it's always safe to talk to the hotel sales representative. Philippine Airlines also has a list of accredited hotels and also the contact information of each. Hotels range from 3,000 to 8,000 pesos per night. For PCR tests, you only have to do one test. You don't have to do one before coming here. You don't have to do one at the airport. The only PCR test that you do is on either your 5th day or your 7th day. So again, this depends on whether you're fully vaccinated and whether you're coming from a green country. So if the answer is yes to both, then your RT-PCR test will be on the 5th day upon arrival. Otherwise, it's on the 7th day. Somebody from the government will come over and administer the test. PCR tests are free for OFWs as well. For the PCR test, the rate varies per airport, but for Manila, it's 3,500. The payment for the PCR test can be done online, like through GCash or credit card and other payment means. You just have to click a link after you register for it. Otherwise, you can also make the payment at the airport. It's not a problem because, there aren't really a lot of people when you arrive. When you arrive, it's literally just your flight anyway. For the forms, there are various forms that you have to register and fill up. The most important one is Philippine Airlines Electronic Case Investigation Form, or ECIF. After you fill out this form and register, you will receive a QR code which you need to show when you arrive. There's also the One Health Pass, or OHP. So the third form that you need is the Affidavit of Undertaking. If you forgot to print it, it's fine. Philippine Airlines will give you a printout of it right before you land anyway. There's also the Pad Lab for your PCR test registration, the Trace app, which you need to install in your phone. There's also the locator form, which I didn't know about until I got to the check-in counter. But it's fine because the staff just gave me a printout that I signed right then and there. That's for tracing purposes. In my case, for Pasig City, there's the Pasig QR code. Finally, face masks and face shields need to be worn at all times in the plane and also when you land in the airport in the Philippines. It's a Philippine government thing because in Canada, people at the airport were only wearing face masks, not face shields. So I think it's also needless to say that the masks need to be surgical. Toronto Pearson Airport was actually pretty empty as well, but not as empty as the one in Philippines. The check-in took 5 minutes, the bag check took 5 minutes, walking to the gate took less than 5 minutes. Right? They say that you have to be there at least 3 hours before an international flight, but I think being there like an hour and a half before your flight is good enough. Boarding happens about an hour before the flight. There is no immigration, right? Because you're leaving the country. The waiting areas are pretty much the same in the gates themselves. But if you don't want to sit with other people, you're actually just free to sit in other gates where they don't really have flights. Surprise, surprise, business class lounge was closed. So Philippine Airlines issued a $20 credit for a meal voucher, which could be redeemed in any establishment at the airport. So I bought myself coffee and sandwich from Starbucks. I was one of the last people to board the plane. It was a Boeing 777. It's one of the older models. So the business class seats weren't pods like in the Airbus 350. It looked like regular seats, but a lot bigger, a lot more legroom. In fact, I would say it has more legroom compared to an Airbus. But for me, it was a bit unnecessary because it was too big or too wide. I still would prefer the Airbus because it gives more privacy, especially since there's no seat distancing, right? You actually have people sitting next to you, and when you're eating, you take off your mask at the same time and open your mouth, right? That already leads to exposure. In the Boeing 777, unfortunately, there was only one washroom that we all had to share. And it wasn't as spacious as compared to an Airbus. For the amenities, it has the usual. So you have your vanity kit, you have your slippers, your in-flight entertainment. Unfortunately, the Wi-Fi was down for this trip. I didn't get 100 MB allocation either, right, that I could use for my next trip, which is a bummer for me. As for in-flight entertainment, while it is updated, it's also very limited. I also noticed something weird. Like when I click one of the movies, the title is different from the actual movie that's playing. It's a glitch. You guys need to get that fixed. But otherwise, the food was good. You have a wide selection. You have snacks in between as well, like chocolates, cheese platter, ice cream, and of course you have your selection of alcohol. There was a minor turbulence above Alaska, and I got more anxious than usual because I could actually feel the plane rattling like more than usual, but maybe because it's an older plane, I don't know. So overall, my tip would be, if you want like the best value for money for business class, I would say check the aircraft assigned to your flight. You can do this when you book online. It usually shows you whether it's going to be an Airbus or a Boeing 777 or a 737. So before you land, Philippine Airlines gives you 3 things to sign: the health declaration form, your arrival card, and your customs form. So these 3 things will be submitted at the NAIA airport. When we arrived, we had to remain on board because some people came on board to take our temperatures. row by row. And they had to finish all passengers before anyone could leave. That took about maybe 15 to 30 minutes, 30 minutes max. We also had to submit the health declaration forms to them. They also checked for the One Health Pass and the ECIF QR code. So we just landed in Terminal 2.
Philippine Airlines flight PR119 YYZ from Siargao is now arriving. Passengers on this flight will disembark through domestic arrival bus gate. Philippine Airlines flight PR232 from Siargao is now arriving.
Oh, wow.
Next, ma'am. Hotel booking po, ma'am.
Sa Marco Polo.
Ay, kabila po.
When we disembarked, we were led to the receiving area where we were triaged. So they asked us which hotel we're booked at, and then they led us to different aisles. As soon as I sat down, I just had to sign a few things, and then that's it. I showed the QR code for the ECIF, and then I was done.
Marco Polo po yung hotel.
Yes, well, is this where we announced? Okay. The next step is to pay for your PCR test, but if you've already paid for it like I did, you just have to show the payment receipt that you received via email. That's it. And then after that, you can leave the area and go down to immigration. That was a pretty efficient process, I would say. And once again, I was sort of first in, first out. Now we're headed down to immigration. The immigration part took only 15 seconds. I just showed my passport and then that's it. At the baggage claim area, again, there was no wait time. All the bags were already brought out and lined up. So you just have to point out which one is yours. Wow, for the first time ever, the luggage beat us to the carousel. On your way out, you just need to hand your affidavit of undertaking to the Philippine Coast Guard and your customs form to the customs officer.
Our driver, named Don. Please, you have your hygiene kit.
Oh, wow. Okay.
This one is emergency kit water.
Disinfection kit, okay? When I walked out, my airport shuttle was waiting for me. The coordinator was there. Because you're quarantining, you have to go straight to your quarantine hotel. Friends and family cannot pick you up. You cannot use a personal car. Your airport transfer needs to be booked through either your hotel or through an airport taxi. So I think this also means you can't book your own Grab car to get to your hotel. So for Marco Polo, it was an additional 2,500 pesos for a one-way airport transfer. And with it came free Wi-Fi in the car and also privacy. So for the hotel check-in, it was, again, really fast. The rate is 6,000 per night with all meals included, or about 54,000 pesos for 9 nights, equivalent to 1,100 US dollars. Almost the same amount that I paid for 3 nights in Canada. As opposed to getting bento boxes, all my meals are actually plated with cutlery and I can schedule it for whenever and it arrives hot. I could say that this is truly a 5-star hotel with 5-star service. I normally judge a hotel by its bathroom, judging whether it's really 5-star or not. And so far, I'm liking what I'm seeing with Marco Polo. Their toilet is equipped with a bidet. They've got a hair dryer, bathrobes, a vanity kit with everything that you might possibly need, including an extra surgical mask and a hand sanitizer. There is a separate bathtub with a separate shower and a rain shower overhead. They got bath salts to go with it. There are extra plastic bags for your trash cans, bedroom slippers. There's generally a lot of closet space. Unfortunately, the laundry service is out throughout the duration of the pandemic. But if you ask for it, they'll give you a bucket so you can do your laundry in your bathroom. They've also got a flat iron. There's unlimited bottled water, Nespresso machine. You can ask for extra Nespresso capsules. There's also tea, sugar, and other condiments. There's extra cutlery. There's a fridge and a snack bar, a safety deposit box. And on your desk, you've got multiple power outlets, including some ports in case you want to connect your devices to the TV. But I guess most of all, you've got an awesome view of Pasig. And maybe Rizal. Right now, there's just some construction going on outside. So that's why you might hear a bit of drilling. Okay, let's order something.
Good evening, private dining. Micah speaking. How may I assist you?
Hi, can I still order dinner?
Dinner. Okay po, ma'am. What are you having?
I'm thinking about having the nasi goreng.
Nasi goreng. Right. Ma'am, you just arrived po tonight?
Yes po.
I see. And then your room number is 4308.
08.
Alright, this is noted po. Ma'am, would that be okay if we serve it siguro po maybe around 7 p.m.?
Yeah, sure. See ya.
Okay po. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
This nasi goreng is so good. Like, I'm not just saying that. It's actually really flavorful. My goal is to try every single thing on the menu. Unlike the one I stayed at in Canada, you can call to select your meals from a menu, and their menu is actually pretty extensive. Certain dishes are available all day, like their all-day breakfast, but then their Asian and Western cuisine is only available from a certain time. You can have it delivered whatever time you want. It will arrive hot, right? And it's plated, it's got cutlery, a napkin, and it's covered with this metal lid. They'll knock on the door, leave it on the table by your door, and then it's up to you to get it. When you're done eating, you just deposit the tray back on the table outside. Marco Polo's doors are kind of heavy, and the trays are heavy too. So it was a struggle to take the tray in and out I will cover as many dishes as possible.
How about for lunch po? Do you have anything on your mind?
Yeah, I'm thinking about getting the crispy pork binagoongan.
And for the serving time for your lunch?
2 p.m.
2 p.m.
And for housekeeping, you can have them replenish whatever. So tissue rolls, your towels, more water, Nespresso capsules, whatever you need, right? You just ask for it. The reason why I picked this place is because it's close to home. Like, I can see my house from here. My mom wants to send me stuff every now and then. Like, on the first day, she sent me a steamer so that I could reheat some of my food because Marco Polo's serving sizes are big. And sometimes I have some leftover that I want to save for later. Yeah, she also gave me some dishwashing soap and a sponge so that I could reuse some of my utensils. You can actually have stuff delivered from third-party services like Grab and Foodpanda. I got myself Fire Tiger milk tea, yeah. So yeah, this is hotel life. It's pretty comfortable. Actually, I would say it's more than comfortable. You got your wide open space, you get your service, you get your privacy, good view, comfy beds. Anyway, I'll keep you guys posted on my RT-PCR test on the 7th day. The lab that the government is partnered with is called Detoxicare Molecular Diagnostics. The swabber was here as early as 6:30 in the morning. They don't really tell you what time your swabber will come, so you just have to be prepared as early as 6 in the morning. He came all the way up to my room. In fact, we did the test right here. So he collected 2 sets of specimens, 2 oral, 2 nasal. The first set goes to regular COVID-19 testing, and the second set would be for the variant testing.
Alright. Ngayon,
Yep.
2 times ito ha. 2 beses sa bibig tsaka sa ilong.
Okay. As you can see, I'm resisting a bit because the nasal swab is a bit deeper than usual. And in fact, later on, he said that this is the standard here in the Philippines, that they don't stop until they feel some resistance inside. The result comes out in 2 days, and even if I get a negative result, I still need to complete my hotel quarantine. In fact, I need to do 4 more days at home. And the results are out. I am cleared. On the day that the result comes out, another email will come later in the evening from the Bureau of Quarantine. This needs to be printed out and shown at checkpoints if you're planning on leaving Metro Manila and traveling to different provinces. But if you're staying in Metro Manila for the duration of your quarantine, you don't really need this. What's up, guys? Today's the last day of my quarantine here at Marco Polo Ortigas. It's been a great choice and all, but there's no place like home. Anyway, thank you for joining me in my journey back here in the Philippines. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to click that thumbs up button. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to drop a comment below. If you haven't subscribed yet, I urge you to do so to show your support for me. This is the Kanya Queen. Remember, stay classy and sassy.